Greetings, everybody. Okay, I'm gonna have to use my bubbles. Um, greetings. All right, so this Venus Day read is gonna be a little different. It's kind of like a discussion, and I was like, just prompted to, um, I was just prompted to talk about this viral TikTok, this 50 something part TikTok. I think it might just be 50 parts. I don't remember. But yeah, I want to talk about it because I feel like it's relevant. The topic of discussion, I will pull because I know Spirit has more messages. But I just want y'all to just, you know, bear with me here because I feel like whoever this is for, whoever needs to hear it at the time that they're meant to hear it, they're going to hear it. So this isn't a message that's meant to be like for everybody. So if you guys are, I don't know if you've been living under a rock, but there's this woman, I think her name is Risa, something like that. She's been going viral on TikTok with her testimony, her story about how she was married to a pathological liar and like, so many others. That story is just like sucks you in, right? I haven't even finished it. I can't sit through stuff too long like that, like especially because I have to take that type of stuff with doses, because it's something like that type of love story. It's not a good love story, but those type of situations and relationships will have you, if you have trust issues and fear around, dating in a sense or trusting people, that is not the situation you want to listen to. But at the same time, I do feel like people around the world need to hear her story. And one thing that stood out to me the most whenever she would talk about how he would lie about certain things, she always felt these feelings. She would always note like how she was led to check on certain things, how she even kept a voice journal when she would have like moments where she would doubt like, okay, is he really lying? Is he really telling the truth? How she would, record these things and how she felt like, she said the Holy Spirit um, would lead her to certain things or to question certain things about this guy. And she said that she believed like the first encounter where they were supposed to meet up and go to the Cheesecake Factory for their first date, that her tire blew out. And she was like, I feel like that was the first warning. So I always tell people this: our spiritual team, God, source, the universe, whatever you want to call it, will always give us a heads up about anything. Like always give us a warning if something is off. It's up to us to take heed to the messages. We have free will, right? We could choose willingly. And I stress all the time in my readings, I tell people this all the time, like, you don't just want to settle for just any old person. Like, I don't care how much you think you want this guy or this woman. If spirit is telling you no, or it's not working out for you, like, why would you want something or try to force it to be what it's not? Because of situations, it doesn't have to be like you end up with a pathological liar. It could be worse, or it could be just something that, it's just meant to be a lesson, or it could be a really nice guy, a nice woman, but they're just not for you. You know what I mean? Like you don't match. Why force yourself into a situation that's not meant, and vice versa, just because you want it in the moment? You're not even allowing yourself to even have the best that's out there for you. You won't even allow yourself to see that. And I say this to those of you that have spiritual gifts and spiritual, you're spiritually gifted and you have certain types of purposes and callings. You can't be with just anybody. A lot of people think that, oh, free will means, yeah, you can date whoever you want to, but for the highest good of yourself, it's best not to just be able to just date whoever you want to date because you think that that's what you want, or that's what you're attracted to at the time, or for whatever reason other than it really actually being for you. We settle sometimes. We might even settle and say, well, this is the best that I can get. Like it might not be all that great, and it's not all that great, but you won't even allow yourself to experience something greater because of fear, because of insecurity, or you feel like you're not worthy enough. Like, however you settle, whether you're settling for something that you think you want so badly, or you're settling for something that you think is just the best that you can do, and that's it, I'm gonna just settle, you're doing yourself a great disservice. For those of you that have, greater purposes and callings, you're doing not just yourself a disservice, but you're doing that disservice to others that will benefit and be blessed by what you have to bring to the world, or how you enrich other people's lives. You're doing a disservice to your children. If you have children, when you marry and date somebody that's not for you. I can go into far more detail than that, but just to keep it on a general level, you're doing that other person a disservice. And I had to be honest with myself this morning. I was like, I could easily entertain somebody that's trying to, give me some attention right now, but I don't want to lead that person on if I'm not interested, or I'm not in the space to, like, I can't do that to somebody. You know what I mean? I wouldn't want someone to do that to me knowing that they're not in the position to date, or they don't want to date, or they may not be interested in me, but because they're bored or because I'm giving them attention, it's like, oh, I wouldn't want that. So it's easy to just settle. It is. It's easy. But the thing is like, we do each other disservices when we do that. Like, the person that you hold on to, that you want to be the one that's not the one for you, you're doing your true person, your soulmate, whatever you want to call it, a disservice by doing that. The other person, they're doing themselves a disservice by being with you if you're not meant for each other, and a disservice to the person that's meant for them. It's selfishness. And this woman's story, Who the Fuck Did I Marry series, is what it's called on TikTok. That's what she calls it. You don't have to even go on TikTok. You can go on YouTube right now. And there's people that have created like a whole video where they put all of her different TikTok clips and made it into one whole big video. And it's like 5 hours long of content. So you'll be sitting there for a minute. Like, it's a extensive thing, and it's so crazy. And as I was listening to the woman, because I haven't even finished the whole series, I reached up until the point where she started talking about how she consulted with her now ex-husband's brother, and how he was exposing how his brother is a liar. Like, he was confirming everything, like he's a fucking liar, and how scary it is. Yes, it's scary to encounter a man like that, but she had signs. She said it herself. That's one thing that stood out to me as she was talking. Like, everything that she was going into about how he lied about what he did for a living, how he lied about his whole family and his parents and his brothers, and how he pretended to be on the phone talking to his brothers daily, and she found out through phone records he wasn't talking to anybody. Like, he wasn't even on the phone at all. Like, it was a whole character. He was just real crazy, like pathologically just a liar, just fucking crazy. She had warning signs though. That's the thing. Spirit will always give us a warning, or just tell us, like, within our spirit, like, that's not for me, that don't sit. You can always tell when you're settling. And I always, think back on times where I wanted things to work out and they didn't. And I look back and I'm like, I'm grateful that it didn't work out with that person. I'm grateful that that was not the man that I ended up with. Though it may have hurt at the time, or I may have felt some type of way, or I could have been, bitter about the situation. I'm grateful that it didn't work out. Because there were times where I ignored red flags. We all do it. We all do it. For whatever reason, we do it. Whether because we want to see the good in a person, or because we're desperate for love. And you cannot be desperate. What's for you will never pass you by. So to settle is you telling yourself, I'm not worthy of anything better than this. This is the best that I can do. And as women, we allow our age to get in the way. Oh, I'm getting older, or all of my friends are getting married, or all of my friends have kids and I'm still single, or I haven't had kids yet, or whatever the case might be. Or you might feel pressured by people around you to get married and all of that. If it's not your season, it's not your season. You can't rush that. And sometimes the people we look at and be like, oh, well, they're in something. But if you really look at it, are they really happy? And yes, maybe some of them are genuinely happy, but you have to consider the sources. If you're asking spirit, you're praying to God, the universe, whatever, for something that's real, you want your soul's mate, your whatever, your divine counterpart, whatever you want to label it, you're asking for something essentially that is of a high vibe. You're not asking for, oh, I just want a man. Like, if you just want a man, or you just want a woman, that comes easy. You can find that. But to find something that really resonates with your spirit and you're not just like settling for something because it's okay, or, oh, I can, save yourself the headache. Save yourself the headache. You know what I mean? Like, it's easy to look at other people and covet what they have, but you don't know what it's really like. You know, if it's something beautiful, like a relationship that um, you see something that's beautiful, look at it and be like, you know, that inspires me. I look forward to having something beautiful like that. But don't just assume that just because someone's in a relationship or that they're married, that they're necessarily happy. It's not, or at least, you know, not to say that you have to be happy all the time, but a temporary discord or where you guys have your challenges, ups and downs, is versus just being completely miserable all the time and abused or emotionally abused and depressed in a relationship or with someone that barely likes you and you barely like them. That's not worth it. It's not worth it. You know, I'm glad that that woman walked away unscarred, you know, physically, nothing happened to her, because that type of situation could have been, you know, potentially really bad physically, you know? So I feel like for people out there that are desperate just to have somebody, and you may be in a situation like, some might be in a relationship right now that's not for them. And it hurts. I trust me, ignorance is really bliss. Like, you can know the whole truth, but it's better than being single, right? Well, at least I have a man, right? Like, you know, that's the claim to worthiness now for people, for women especially. Oh, at least I have a man. But sis, are you really happy with that man? Or it's just like you're happy for some moments and then it goes back to what the fuck am I doing? Are you really happy? And singleness is not a death sentence. I really do believe that you can have a constructive, like, single season. Because the thing is like, when you get into a relationship, would you rather get into a relationship with somebody while you're still emotionally broken, where you're still, you know, dealing with selfishness, where you're not really able to give to a person, you're just worried about what can you get out of it and how can they love me and do this and do that, you know, the little surface level shit, or where you still have these insecurities, where you have trust issues, and then you get into that relationship with this man and he's going to be drained. That person is going to be fucking drained by your energy, because he's like, okay, though I may love this person, realistically, is it fair to do that to another person, have to constantly validate you, to give to you, and you have nothing to give to them emotionally other than maybe just some sex or whatever, or I'll do some little things here and there. Are you able to show up for that person emotionally? You know, are you able to give back that same grace and compassion and love to them? Or are you just there to take? Is it all about you? Or you just simply don't want to be single? You think that this man is supposed to be your happiness and that's it. So if anything, God forbid, anything happens to that man, or he leaves, or something separates the two of you, your whole entire existence is going to be just based off of the validation of that man, and you're still going to be miserable, right? So think about it in another way. I want to be in a place with myself where I'm content, I'm secure, I love myself, I'm enjoying my life, I'm creating things for myself, or I'm following a path that resonates with me, and I'm not looking for outside validation from men or anybody around me. I I prove myself. I love myself. And when you get into a healthy relationship, you have something to contribute. You have some life experience. You have some wisdom. You have love to give. You have compassion to give. You have grace to give. You have joy to give to another person, and an extension to what they have, right? As if you flip it, would it be fair to you to be in a relationship with somebody where you're doing good, you're happy with yourself, you're confident, you know who you are, you're enjoying your career, or you're on your path to finding what makes you happy, and then you get into a relationship with a man that's miserable, he's insecure, he hates himself, he doesn't have a good relationship with people around him, he takes from you. That's not fair, right? So people want to get into some relationships, but like, it's nothing wrong with desiring it, but we have to be honest with ourselves and be like, am I really ready? You know, not saying that you're going to be completely perfect, because nobody's perfect. We all have quirks and stuff. But if you know that your energy is more of a a Debbie Downer, more of this needy energy, this fill my cup up, but I'm not going to fill yours up, or I can't possibly fill yours up. And I'm looking for everything and everybody to validate me. I don't even have an identity of myself or my own. That's not a healthy thing. It's not going to work. It's just not going to work, no matter how bad you want it. And sometimes the very reason why we want a person is because of how we think they make us feel, or they may make us feel some type of excitement. It's better than nothing, right? The excitement of getting attention, or the excitement of having somebody take you out. But do you really like that person? Do y'all really resonate with each other? Do you really vibe? Or is it just some basic shit that you could conjure up with anybody else, another person, right? You got to ask yourself these real questions. Is it really worth all that? Because that woman, I guarantee you, she said it herself. She compromised her morals. The first thing she said that she did that was off her norm, that TikTok, the Who the Fuck Did I Marry series. She said she moved in a guy before marriage. That was her thing, that she would never, that's not something she does, right? That's her thing. I'm not moving in with a man unless I'm married to him, right? That might not be everybody's standard or moral, but that was hers, right? So when you start compromising stuff like that about yourself, that's how you know you're in the wrong relationship. And desperation kicks in. Like, I'm sure she was looking at it like, I'm getting older. I'm on a dating site trying to meet people. Because she married dude within a month. Like, no, within a year, excuse me. She married him within a year. They quarantined together and moved in into her place. And the lies just started pouring in from there. And he loved bombed her, basically. And it's easy to be love bombed when you don't use your discernment, when you're desperate for attention, when you're desperate for love. It's easy to fall into that because you're not using your discernment. When you love yourself to a certain capacity, it's not easy for somebody to just come in and just spit some game to you, or, oh, you're so beautiful, or, oh, I want to be with you forever. Like, it's got to be something there. And if something in your spirit does not agree with it, but you're just desperate, like, oh, there's a man that says he's in love with me. Okay, I'm gonna go with it. That's desperation. It's desperation. I would suggest dating or opening yourself up to dating for love or for marriage when you're in a desperate state of mind within yourself, or when you're still broken within yourself, because you're looking for something to feed you. And the moment that it stops feeding you, you're going to feel deprived of it. You're going to feel empty because you don't have anything inside of yourself. So, like, normally as a human being, if you were to, let's say, even as a whole man or woman, if you were to break up with somebody that you cared about, it's going to hurt. But a part of you is going to, in a healthy state, is going to be like, okay, it didn't work out. It wasn't meant to be. Yes, it hurts, but that wasn't the right person for me. If it's not that person, if they don't come back around, there's someone that's out there for me. But you're not going to hold yourself. You're not going to be miserable like, oh, my life is over, I'm not good enough. That's brokenness. It's brokenness. Desiring a person that doesn't really like you like that. Like, you can sleep in the same bed with this person, and if they treat you like an afterthought, or it's an ex and you're still like holding on, waiting for some ex to come back, and this ex is moving on with their life, they're living their life, and you're still stuck and stagnant and crying over that, you're doing yourself a disservice. Because even if, in some cases, I'm sure somewhere in the universe, there's situations where couples may have had to separate, but I guarantee you they lived their life. They weren't waiting. They weren't crying for days and for years and for weeks, waiting for this person to return back into their life. They lived their life. And living your life, mind you, because people just fall into the trap of this as well. And I'm saying this all with love, because we got to call the shit as it is. Sometimes, like, when people get into, I'm gonna live my life, it's always centering around another man or another woman. It's never just let it be about me this time in life. Let me in this season let it just be me, and let me really enjoy me, my company, what I enjoy, let me learn about parts of myself. Like, it's so easy to be like, oh, I'm gonna live my life, and doing you means, oh, I'm gonna just go on and go sleep and fuck on somebody else. That's just another distraction. You're not really living your life. You're still in that distraction phase. you're repeating the same cycles. You know how they say, like, some people, they break up with one person, next minute they already with somebody else. Like, they can't be by themselves. There's a problem. Why can't you be with yourself? What is so bad? That's the craziest thing for me to hear when people are like, oh, I can't be single, at least I have a man. And it's like, you don't know how to be by yourself. Like, what is so bad? Like, I really want to know. Singleness, because people sometimes think singleness means like you just out fucking and just talking to people and you're not in a serious relationship, so you just get to move around. That's a part of singleness to an extent, or that's a choice within your journey and your singleness. But singleness really is being with yourself, for real. Can you maneuver in life with yourself and enjoy yourself and like your fucking self, or learn to like and love yourself? Can you do that? What is so bad about that? What is so tragic and dark about that? I don't get it. It's unhealthy. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I can love a person and see the truth in them and being like, I could love you, but I can see the brokenness in you. You can't be single. There's something wrong. Why can't you be single? You always got to have a man. Like, there's something wrong with that. Or you always got to have a woman. Like, there's something wrong. You can't be by yourself. That's not good. And, you know, like, some people look back and they'll be like, I didn't even get a chance to really live my life or really get to know who I am. Some people lose their identity in a man and the kids, and they have no identity outside of that. They don't have friendships outside of that. That's not healthy. That is not healthy. You're more than just a breastfeeder that takes care of kids and a housemaid that cooks and cleans and somebody's wife. You're more than that. More than that, or meant to be more than that. If that hasn't been your story, there's so much more to you. And if you don't have an identity and you don't know what your purpose is and you ain't living in that, like, what good are you to someone? You know what I mean? Like, no. That shouldn't be enough. And maybe for some people that is enough. It gives them validation. But a purposeful person, a person with soul, a soul-filled, like, your soul-filled person, that is not going to be enough for you. You're never going to be happy in that. It's not. You're going to feel miserable. You're going to feel miserable. And it's like, it's really sad, like, how people really take it as a death sentence to be single, or to just let go and stop centering your life around the next man or next woman in a way of, like, you try to make it fit and make it work. You're wasting your time. And the contradictions too, like, that sometimes we have. And I sound frustrated because I am frustrated, but in love though. Because, you know, I've encountered many different type of situations and even my own life experiences and stuff with love. How some people, this is frustrating for me, but like, some women, they'll say like they want their one, right? But they're entertaining someone that they know is not their one. And it's kind of like this, it's a miscommunication to the universe. Like, you're praying and asking for the one, or for the person that's meant for you, someone that's going to love you, respect you, but you're entertaining the very thing or the very person that does not love you nor respect you. And you want them to respect you, and you kind of low-key want them to love you, low-key, because you want love, but you're placing that energy on the wrong person. You're miscommunicating with the universe. The universe is like, huh, like, you asked for filet mignon and you over here eating chicken tenders. I'm confused. What do you really want? I'm really confused. Like, spirit doesn't get it. Spirit knows exactly what you want, but do you know what you want? Do you really know what you want? And do you actually, are you making yourself available to it? Community dick versus someone that has standards. It's a difference. Like, who do you really want? Who are you really siding with? Because it's confusing. And you delay your process. That's the funny thing, is like, we don't see that we delay our processes when we entertain the very thing that's the opposite of what we say we want. That blocks your blessing, and you're wondering why. Oh, why is my person not coming? Because you're entertaining a whole bunch of counterfeits. Why you're entertaining counterfeits? Because you're bored, or because you're desperate, or you're lonely, or you think you're lonely, or you just don't want to be with yourself. It's just you don't want to do it. That's why your process is delayed with love. The right person was to step into your life and talk to you, you wouldn't even pay that person dust, because they don't carry that energy. Like you don't see them, because what's feeding your appetite right now, or where you're like, you're asking for spirit, like I said, a filet mignon. But instead of waiting for it to be served to you or cooked up and served to you, you're like, well, let me just eat some chicken tenders in the time being. So when the filet mignon comes, you're not going to have an appetite for it. Your taste buds is not going to be, it's like, okay, I don't want it. Or it's just served, it's sitting in front of you, and you're just like, okay, well, I already ate something. So yeah, if spirit was to place the right person, you're not either you're going to repel it somehow. And it's not that it's not appealing or it doesn't look good to you. For some reason, you're just going to push it away. Like, you know, the little Spider-Man, like the meme with the Spider-Mans pointing at each other, like who's the real Spider-Man? It's kind of like that too. Like you can't discern the counterfeit from the real. Because a broken part of you is looking, if you're broken within yourself, where you haven't started to put the pieces of yourself back together in a way where you love yourself enough, I should say, not saying that you don't love yourself at all, but enough. Let's say you're looking at a mirror, that mirror is cracked, it's distorted. You're not going to be able to see the real from the fake. It's distorted. So when you're broken, you're looking from a distorted vision and view of things. You can't see, because you don't see yourself. If you were to really see yourself in your wholeness and your fullness, or how source God sees you and who God created you to be, you would not be appeased or even attracted to a counterfeit. And a counterfeit doesn't necessarily have to be someone that's bad for you. They could be a good guy, good woman, but just not for you. But if you understood parts of yourself, you would know that, right? So, not to sound condescending, because it kind of sounds that way. My delivery can be a little bit ashy, a little dry, but I don't sugarcoat, you know. I don't sugarcoat. It's kind of like a frustration that I have, you know, like where I hate to see it. You know what I mean? It's like that. I hate to see it. It really irritates me. I could say it in a way more sugar-coated way, like, you're deserving of so much more. But would it really hit if I was just to say it like that? Like, you deserve much more. You sleeping on yourself. Really. It's nothing else but that. Like, who would want something that is fake? Why would you want a fake Chanel bag? Because you want it to look like you got it like that. So why would you settle with counterfeit? Because you don't want to be single. You want to look like, oh, I got a man, I'm happy, we doing good. Yeah, but in reality, it's a fake Chanel bag, and you wish you had a real one. You wish you could afford another one. It's not to say you can't, but to settle for something that's cheaper, it's easy to do that. It's very easy. Same with men. Men can know that they're dating somebody. They look good. They look fucking good. They look like a Chanel bag, but they're trash, and their fabric is, their stitching is China shop value worth. Like, it's not even grade A. There's nothing there. No, I hope men don't want no Chanel bags. No, I don't think so. Let me rephrase that. I don't know. Whatever the fuck y'all into, man. I'm sorry. Not a Chanel bag, but it's like you could look at something and just be like, I just want to just get it because it's cheaper. You're settling. And maybe it could be something that's expensive, and maybe you can afford it over something else that you really, really want. And you say, well, it's good enough for me, but it's not really for me. Like, it's good for someone else. Like, I'm pretty sure someone else that can afford this high price, high value situation or person or thing, they can afford it. But I'm going to get it because I actually can afford that thing, but I don't feel like I deserve it right now, or I just don't want to spend that much money right now. So let me just buy this thing. Settling. settling. It could be a good thing, but it's not your good thing. The thing that you really, truly, actually want, you turn yourself away from it because a part of you feels like you're really unworthy of it. Maybe you feel like you're not ready for it, right? And in some cases, maybe you're not. But to entertain something rather than saying, when I'm ready, I'm going to come back and get that thing that I want. I'm not going to buy anything right now just so I can have something. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, I can afford that Rolex, but I want that one instead. But I don't think that I should get it right now. I'm trying to save some money. Okay, well, if you're not ready, come back when you are ready. Don't just buy something now just so you can have a Rolex. Like, that's what people be doing out here. That is, because that's not what you really want. Gotta be honest. You got to be honest with yourself, okay? And I'm not just talking about love. Let's step out of the realm of romance for a minute and say that could be anything in life that you know that ultimately is good for you, what you truly want, but you feel like you're not ready or you're not good enough or whatever the case may be. So you go ahead and you settle for something else for right now. That's inauthentic. It's not real. You're lying to yourself, and that's why your spirit will never be settled. It will never just rest. It's always going to feel a discord. It's always going to feel a dissatisfaction, a dis-ease. And then you start falling into a depressive state, or you start questioning and doubting yourself, and you start blaming yourself. You start blaming everybody else as well, instead of just being like, I could just have waited for the very thing that I want. But patience is a virtue, as they say, right? It's a virtue. Not everybody has the mental power, all of that. Hey, sis. To like hold out and be patient. But fuck it, it's your world, right? You can have whatever you want, right? Yeah, even if that is not good for you, right? The insanity. Yeah. So if you look at what the word virtue means, you know they say patience is a virtue. A virtue is a behavior showing high moral standards. You have standards for yourself. When you're patient, that means you have standards. You're going to wait for something that is, if you go to a restaurant, right, and you ask for a specific thing on the menu and they say, well, it's going to take 30 minutes, but if you like, what's on the menu is this. And you're like, nah, I don't want that. I'll wait until what I ordered is ready. I don't mind waiting because you know that it's worth the wait. Instead of just settling and taking something else off the menu. A lot of people don't have that. They are okay with saying, oh, I don't want that. You're lowballing yourself. Who the fuck did I marry? You don't want to be sitting on TikTok talking about who the fuck did I marry? Oh, this person did this and this person did that. Or this person unalived my family and burned my house down and my kids. And like that stuff is all around nowadays. And it's because I guarantee you these women have warning signs. I guarantee you. It does not justify the crime or the actions of the person. But I guarantee you that woman had warning signs. There was all, and if you look at these men, like when they show their mug shots and stuff, if they survive the crime, because some of them are cowards and they take themselves out. But the ones that do stay, you know, and they get arrested, their eyes are soulless. There's nothing fucking there. There's nothing there. And you got to be a senseless, sick person to do the things that these people do to women and children and stuff like that. You got to be sick. Even to your own children. How do you do that to your own children? How do you even look at a child and do something like that? You got to be devilish. So these people don't have nothing, like there's nothing there. And I bet you $1 million that those women saw that crazy and they ignored it. Why? I don't really know the exact reason, but I can guarantee you it has something to fall back on: a lack of self-worth, a lack of standards for themselves. And when you have like a big heart too, because some people really do genuinely want to see the good in people, you'll overlook a lot of shit because you can see potential. And this is the dangerous thing. And this is another thing the spirit wants to say. Why I tell people that are gifted, that are called, that are chosen to be a help and a service to this world through their gifts, who have spiritual insights, who are intuitives, who are seers, who are prophets, dreamers, prophetic dreamers, whatever gifts you have. Why you have to be careful who you date and who you marry is because, again, you'll see that potential in a person because you have the spiritual sight to see a potential in a person. You could prophetically see, like, I can see this person being able to do this, and I can see them being able to do that, and I can see that they're talented in this and this and that. You could see them, and you also could see the trauma, and you can see the pain in people. You can see all of that. And so you get ahead of yourself and you start trying to love people into loving themselves or into loving you. And that's not how it works. You cannot do that. It's okay to have compassion for people and see the potential in what they have to cultivate. But if you know that that person is not for you, it will help. It's going to cause you to not see the red flags. I'll never forget. My friend said something that was so profound and it sticks to me because I was like asking her about, a guy I was interested in. I was like, how come I could see like a future and I could see this and this and that? And then she said, because you're a seer. You have spiritual gifts. So you can see things in a person, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's meant for you to be with them. You're just seeing the potential of it, but that doesn't mean that that's who you're called to be with. So again, like I say this with love, and I don't want anybody to take this lightly. It doesn't have to be a detrimental situation where like something really bad happens to you. It could just be one of those situations where you get hurt somehow, right? Whether it's just emotionally, mentally. If you have the gift of sight, be careful of who you date. Don't overlook and you're an empath as well. You're this empath. You have the ability to hold space and compassion and love for people. Do not overlook red flags because you can see a potential in them and they're not walking in that potential. They don't want to. And you're, oh, I see it. And oh, they said this and they said that, but they still stagnant. They ain't doing nothing different. They're showing you more red flags than anything else. Do not subjugate yourself to a potential because you have the spiritual sight to see a person. Don't do that. If it's not something that you're truly called to, and love should never bring pain. Love should never make you feel worthless. Love should never make you feel so confused that you don't know where you stand and where you're on pins and needles and where you have to contact several psychics just to figure out if this person even gives a fuck about you. You should know without a shadow of a doubt that this person loves you, or you should know without a shadow of a doubt what this person's true intentions are, to where they show and prove with those intentions, and where you don't have to really question it. Yeah, if you still have a little bit of trust issues and insecurities, you might question a genuine person, but energy doesn't lie. If you're constantly confused and the words ain't matching their actions, it's not right. Something's not right. We've all been there. We've all been there. I know for a fact I've been there. I've ignored red flags. I done stayed in a 6-year relationship and ignored it all those years. It is very possible to do that because we want what we want. We want who we think we want. And we settle. And I can guarantee you, just based off of experience, I didn't love myself too much. I didn't think too much of myself. I didn't have morals and standards that I stood principles on. I didn't understand my value. So I settled for less until it clicked when I started healing and all of that. When I went through my awakening and I started to see him for who he was, I was like, I deserve way better than this. And I let it go, finally. No going back and forth. Oh, I'm leaving him. Let me teach him a lesson. No, I was for real and I left him alone. Never look back. I don't want him. Back then, I didn't really even want him like that. It was because I wanted the idea of having a man and having a family and all that other stupid shit with the wrong person. Nope. It doesn't matter how long you've been in that situation. If it's time to go, it's time to go. Whenever you get the unction or the courage or the power to say, I don't care if I've been in this faulty relationship for 12, 15 years, it's time for me to go. It's never too late. You're not stuck to anything, especially anything that's not for you. The contract been up. Contract's been null and void a long time ago. that's like you get an eviction notice and you're still living up in the house even though it's time to evict. Some of this, like, you know, I don't know who this is for, but yep. You have, what is this? The Eight of Pentacles, you have the Emperor, and you have the Fool. So it's time for you, based off of the things that you work through, because I feel like I'm not speaking to people that just, and you know this to be true or not, I'm not speaking to those who just don't do any type of self-reflection, trying to improve themselves on an internal level, not just externally. I'm not talking about just going to the gym and making sure you look good or making sure like your out world looks appealing to the public, but internally doing the work on yourself. You give a fuck about yourself. You care about yourself. Truthfully, internally, like your well-being matters to you. Your mind wellness and your emotional wellness, spiritual wellness matters to you. Not just your physical or your material world. It's all of that. And it's a work in progress. Yes, we're all a work in progress. And I feel like you are at a place, I hear the word sovereign with the Emperor. You are at a place within yourself where you are the change that you're wishing to see. You are the one that's going to put you in a position where you need to be within yourself. If you so see yourself, the Emperor is Aries, right? Aries energy, first house, the self, the identity, the I am. Like, you have to know who the fuck you are. Hey, Crystal. Thank you. You have to know who you are. Sovereignty can represent self-governing, self-governed. And not saying that you're not governed by a higher power as well. Like, you don't have that within you, that God lives inside of you. So when you know that, you understand what divinity, like what you walk in, who you are, how you are that expression of God, you're not going to play small about yourself anymore. You're free. The Fool card is like, there's nothing in your past really holding you. Even if you're in a situation right now where you feel like you're stuck with the person, you're not, because you know within yourself, like there's a part of you that knows the truth, that knows like, I'm in a situation I'm not supposed to be in. You know that much. So you're already free. The truth shall set you free. You're free. You know the truth. Nothing's holding you back but you. You're not stuck. Let's see. Yeah, you're juggling between, it's whether it's an investing, because you have the Two of Pentacles and the Six of Pentacles. So it's like a back and forth energy or back and forth game that you play. Some of you literally are entertaining. You're like in between entertaining counterfeits versus entertaining the real thing. It's like you're going back and forth. For others of you, if you're not dating or you're not in a romantic situation, there's a part of you that's still giving to a counterfeit type of energy. So whether that's counterfeit friendships, whether that's a job that you know that you've been called out of a long time ago, something that you know the time has been up, and you're in between that stage or that phase where you're willing to invest and put energy towards something that's truly aligned with you. You're like in that phase of energy. I hope I'm making sense. Like you're in a between state. Yeah. The Hermit. Yeah. You have the light to guide you on your path. You're not at a place where you're not knowing. You're not in your babe stage anymore. You're full grown, spiritually speaking. Like, yeah, there's still things to learn along the journey, but you're at a place where you're able to navigate better on your path, because either you have the inner knowing of what's meant for you, what's destined for you. It's a light there's a light that's been shed on that for you. So there's no way that you could say you can't see or you don't know, because you do. What would make you think that you don't know, or that you don't have all the answers, or that you're not equipped already? What is it that's doing this, Spirit? The Seven of Wands. Resistance. Resistance. But the fact that you're still going is enough to let you know, like, you're divinely guided, even at the times that you think that you're not. Your resilience lets you know that. The fact that you haven't just rolled over and said, fuck this, fuck life, given up. Down seasons don't count, because even, even the strongest warriors sometimes have to fall and take a step back and rest and recuperate and rejuvenate, gather their strength back. So resting periods and down moments don't count. You're still in the game. You're just taking a break. But when you tap out of life and say, I give up, that's when you know, like, you're still going, is what I'm saying. So don't discount that. Seven of Pentacles. Patience with yourself. Patience with yourself. And again, remember how they say, the saying goes, patience is a virtue. Virtue is a what? It's a moral standard for self. So when you have patience, that's because you hold yourself to a certain standard. You love yourself enough to do that. So we're not just going to take cheap. You're not going to just accept less, because you love yourself. You hold yourself to a high regard. Like, what's right for me? What sits well with my consciousness? It may not make sense to everybody else. It may not be someone else's moral standard, but how does it make me feel? That's what your moral standard is. How does it make you feel? Does it feel right within your spirit? If it doesn't, it's not for you. It's not the standard. It's below your standard. What you believe is acceptable and to be true for you, if it does not sit well with your spirit, like if you know you're doing something that goes against what feels right to you, it's not for you. No one else, someone else can easily say, oh girl, you better go out and date. You better go talk to that man. Like, that man looking at you, and you like, I don't feel it. But your girlfriend is like, but see, you're so picky. And then you'll start going, maybe I am picky. Maybe that's why I'm single. But you're allowing someone else to dictate what feels right in your spirit. Standard, by definition, is a level of quality or attainment. So your standards is what's of quality to you. What is it that makes you feel like you're achieved in a good sense, that makes you feel good moralistically, right? What sits right with you? That may not be someone else's standard, but what's yours, right? So if I look at something and go, okay, this to me is valuable and this to me is not that valuable, and you go, well, because my friends are saying my standards are too high, let me invest in something I don't really find that much value in. You're settling. It's not easy. No, I know it's not. I know it's not. But like, one thing that might get you sober minded when you feel that temptation to settle for things that are not for you, or for people, or to stay in situations, think about what's best for me. Like, am I being honest with myself? Do I, like, damn, I'm playing myself like that? Like, think of the Chanel bag analogy. You want a real Chanel bag, and you can have that. You can manifest it. I bet you, like, even if you don't have the money to buy it, there's no impossibilities in the universe where you cannot manifest that Chanel bag. the means to get it. So while you're saying, oh, I don't know how I'm going to get it, I don't know if it's real, though I want it, I desire it, let me go ahead and get this phony bag from the swap meet just so I can look like I got something. When you ever think about compromising yourself, think of that analogy. I just want to look like I got it, or do I believe that I actually deserve and that I can actually manifest that thing that I know that I want and I know that ultimately I truly deserve, but I'm denying myself of it in some kind of way. Like, think of it that way. Or you're waiting for something specific on a menu and it's going to take 30 minutes for it to come out, and they're suggesting, well, if that's too long of a wait for you, we have this instead. And you go, I came here for this, but they're telling me I should get this, even though it's not what I really want. You go to that state of mind like, nah, I don't mind waiting because I want what I want. I want what I came here for. The thing that I hold at a standard, that's what I want. The thing that I find quality over this other thing on the menu, what they're telling me I should get, that's not what my appetite came here for. So there's something that you hold inside of you in your spirit that you know is what you want, but you're trying to place that value onto other things, or you're willing to compromise that thing that your soul, your spirit says, that's what we deserve. That's what we want. This is the highest love that I desire to feel, but I'm willing to settle for somebody that can't even think to bring me flowers on a motherfucking rainy day. I can't deal with that. Or on my birthday, they won't even remember my birth. Like, and it might not even be that bad. This person could be everything, but it's like, but that friendship vibe ain't there. You know, we don't have nothing really in common. Like, yeah, he look good, or yeah, he's doing this for me, or yeah, she's pretty, but we just don't have that vibe. Like, she don't inspire anything inside of me. She don't spark anything, or he doesn't inspire anything. I don't feel that protector energy from him. Like, you compromise the things that you really desire, your soul really needs. And you're not just asking for these things out of nowhere. For something inside of you that may be beyond your comprehension, that desires a person that will speak life into you because you have a purpose. And yeah, you can speak life into yourself, but community is everything, right? Who would want to be with a partner that doesn't root for you, that doesn't spark anything inside of you? Who the fuck wants that? I know I don't. I don't want that. I'm sorry. I don't. That's just me. I don't want that. Let me pull from this Venus is the Plug Oracle. Because I know some of y'all sick of me, but hey, I ain't come here for those that's just here to play small and just accept the bare minimum. I ain't talking to y'all. You know? I hope one day you just say, ooh, I'm not doing that, am I? Oh no. Oh, well, you got the Venus Day card, you got adornments, you got Venus in Virgo, and you have affirmations. So I'm going to take this as advice from Spirit. So the Venus Day card says, on Friday, we do self-love, romance, and money spells. Now, when I wrote this card, I was not thinking about doing rituals to make someone love you and bind them to you. That's not what I had in mind. So when you do love spells, you want to attract the highest vibration of love that you desire to come to you. Like something that is based off of a template, not so specific like it has to be a specific person, but more so the essence and the energy of the type of partner you're looking for. Or maybe it's like to break off any, issues that you have around love, help you work on your heart chakra. That could be a love spell. Money spells could also be to attract more wellness, abundance, whatever, right? Positive things, not things that bind people and control and all of that. None of that shit, okay? It says freaking loving up on ourselves, petitioning our money goals and calling in the love we deserve. Mirror magic and goddess baths feel amazing. Inner work must come first, as it is the most important key to self-love, and it's the greatest reward. Absolutely. Adornments. Our physical manifestation should be appreciated and admired, just as our inner god and goddess needs love. Love on your hair, your eyes, your nose, your body, your rolls and stretch marks, etc. Add your favorite adornments of jewelry, makeup, favorite clothes, perfumes, or colognes. So get cute, get pretty, get handsome, just, try to do that more often if you don't, or if it's been a while, take yourself out or go out with your friends or something, do something nice, get dressed, get cute, get handsome, smell good, Venus in Virgo, it says an analytic approach when balanced with a healthy desire is a match made in heaven. Avoid false perfectionism and criticism of self and others. Affirmations. It says words are powerful and sets a lot of magic into motion. Affirm how much you love you, how abundant you are, how deserving you are of healthy connections, etc. State your affirmations to yourself in the mirror to build a stronger magnetism around you. Only take those methods if those resonate with you. But that's for my Venus as the plug oracle. I rarely use this deck. I made this a few years ago, but I forgot how much I actually love this deck. Okay, being a Venus ruling woman myself, I love this deck. I know that sounded a little bad. Anyway, I hope this reading resonates and the messages within itself. I hope I didn't go too hard, you know. It's okay. Let me give y'all a cyber hug. If that was too much, if that was too hard, let me give you a little hug. What's that lady, the Fix My Life lady? Like, she be going in on people, but I noticed she looks like she gives the best hugs. She's like she gives the best hugs. Yes, as a Venus and Virgo girly. Hey, hey. Yeah, she looks like she gives like this big mama hug. Like, so I want to give y'all a big mama hug from over here to the other side. If that was just too much, or you just need a hug energetically, and just let someone know that you are loved and you are deserving of love. You are deserving of the highest form of love, unconditional love. Someone that sees you, someone that loves you and speaks love and life into you, and is compassionate, is graceful, is supportive, is your biggest cheerleader, your best friend, someone that will keep it real with you because they love you, someone that will protect you from anything or anyone that tries to harm you or hurt you, will defend you, will stand up for you, will have your back at all times and all moments, someone that is loyal, someone that is reliable, someone that's transparent, someone that is truly intentional, has good intentions for you. If you have kids, that this person will love your children as their own, that they will steward them into being the people that they are called to be, that this person gives you the freedom to be your authentic self, that you and this person will love each other authentically as your whole selves. The flaws, the quirks, the things that you may feel like is ugly or imperfect, this person finds it to be beautiful and perfect, and vice versa. You will do the same and feel the same for them. You guys will have a beautiful friendship and companionship that is unbreakable, a connection to God, a devotion to each other that is beyond this realm, because you honor and respect Source God, that you have your own personal relationship with Source God, that you will come into a family unit that is not just your own, but an extended family unit, that you will welcome each other into your family, that your families will root for this connection, and it will be a deeply rooted bond, something that will expand through generation to generation. Your children and your children's children will be affected by this union, because it was rooted on a solid foundation, a foundation of love, a foundation of Source God. It was divinely ordained. It was set up. It happened organically. It was not forced. It does not come with pain and confusion. It does not come with anything that you've experienced in the past. It is beyond what you've experienced and what you expected, what you can even fathom and pray for. It is beyond. So allow Spirit to do this magic and do their works in your love life. Amen and ashe. We're going to leave it at that. I appreciate you guys so much, and we will talk soon. I'm thinking about doing these Venus Day reads every Friday, not just for February. I feel like it's been helpful. So, you know, and the heart therapy sessions and things like that has been good for some people. So I'm sending much love to everyone. Enjoy your Friday. And even if you're not watching this on a Venus day, just the energy and the essence, let it heal you. Let it crack you open. Allow yourself to see your beauty and see your identity, that you won't awaken love before it's time, that when love arrives, that you will be ready for it, even if you feel or think that you may not be ready. But your soul, your spirit, God, Source knows that you're ready. And your person, even if they think or feel that they may not be ready, their soul knows that it's ready, and God knows that it's ready. So yeah, may you see you how God, Source sees you, how those that love you, truly love you, see you. Allow yourself to see yourself in the beautiful being that you are, physically and most importantly energetically, on a soul level. See you, so you know what your worth and your value is, and you won't play about you no more. Know how to step in. All right, y'all, much love, peace.